Hello guys, how are you? This is a long due video from me to you all about HMS Victory 1 to 100th scale HMS Victory from the company Heller. Very good kit. I'm building this, as you already noticed it, very slowly. I realized that this is just not a kit that you have on your shelf after it's built. This is a symbol. This is a platform for me to test new techniques, and at the same time trying to do the best that I can for this old lady that gave so much to a country, a nation, and such a beautiful ship it is. So what I decided was, now that I'm on vacation, I have a bit more time to work on my channel, on my hobby. Why not do a video that encapsulates everything since the opening of the box, every step forward, every step back, because I had to do some steps back on my work in order for me to make it better and restart again, everything. So I sat down and I started to edit this video, which, by the way, doesn't have just a pickup of the other videos. I picked up every original footage of every single step of the build and redone all this, even because I think that I'm a bit better on video editing right now. And well, I hope you understand the way I'm thinking on this video. I hope you enjoy this video as always. I hope you are safe, and give me your opinion in the comments below, okay? If you're here, if you're new, if you like this kind of videos, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, like button, or dislike button, whatever, it's your opinion. And as always, I hope you enjoy this video. And as you can see, this kit was, it's an old kit, very good, but yet old. The plastic sails are completely ruined. The paper flags, the flags are ruined. Everything will be addressed at the correct time to build it, to assemble it. No problem there. I have a few, unfortunately, I have a few pieces broken. Two of the bow, and I'm still trying to get some replacement pieces. The instructions, as you can see, are very old. I got some online. Even so, yeah, very clear. You just have to read them and reread them. And here is the kit. It's thick plastic. It can be a bit daunting. You can be a bit scared, because the last HMS Victory that I built was the Revel to 25th scale, if I'm correct. And suddenly you are faced with this one, and well, this one is big. And then along the beginning of the build, already in course, in being built, came Daniel's Fischer photo etch set, which is also called Daffy set, which is an amazing set, a labor of love. It is a proof of the utmost respect that Daniel has for this ship, and that made me feel two things. One, absolute respect and fear. at the same time. I'm being dramatic with the word fear. English is not my first language, but you know what I mean. That photo etch set enhances this kit beyond everything that you may imagine. Every single detail present on that ship is, if not enhanced, it is present with that photo etch set. And Daniel Fisher sent one to me, and I started using it with a lot of respect, because I didn't want to ruin that one, this kit. And so I am here on this video trying to show every single thing that I've done. And I'm using can primer on this one. Why? Well, this kit is so big that I tried to use my airbrush at the minimum possible. And on these kind of work steps, you can use a can. This deck is very good. I'm using an enhancement more ahead, but if you ask me now, today, probably I would use out of the box, but you will see how it was done with an extra set for the deck. As you can see, it's much more practical to use rattle can primer rather than the airbrush. It's much more material friendly, let's say. And here this section has a story. One of those Alex is kind of living in the moon story. I started to paint the copper hull, and I remember painting and saying to myself, this color, this copper tone is strange. It's really strange. And I sent this picture to a very good veteran modeler in the US, a friend on Facebook. And I remember that his answer was very polite. He said, I think you should research a little bit more. The paint is well applied. I mean, he emphasizes everything that I did well, but he underlined that this maybe is wrong. Yes, of course, I painted it gold, not copper. Where I was with my head, I just don't know. So here I'm painting it again in copper, this time the correct tone. As you can see here, I am going along on the build, and then more ahead I go back and even literally destroy something that I did previously. And why? After Daniel's Fisher Duffy set arrived, I had to remove many things, many details on the surface of the kit, add a few, and well, the kit deserves it. The Daniel's Fisher set is awesome, also deserves it. Made me feel a bit insecure regarding my model making abilities, but it was needed. That's why you will see here everything in this video. Sometimes I go forward and then I take 2 steps back and destroy everything and redo everything in order to place Daniel's Fisher set. it's worth it. I still have a lot of metal sheets here. The building is still progressing, and it's every time I work on this one, I learn 10 new things, and that's why this kit is so important to me. That's why this kit is so vital to my growth as a modeler. And here we are preparing the paint, which, if you ask me, I'm using Mission Models paints. They're very, very good paints, very good coverage, very good indeed. If you ask me if I would just get a set of HMS Victory paints right now, they're not cheap, but probably I would. But back then, I did this, and the color, that ochre, is, in my opinion, one of the colors that was used, that's a fact, on HMS Victory. So I have to come clean with you guys on one thing. That yellow, classic yellow, for me, it's not bad, but comparing it with the ochre and with this new, and supposedly, it's not supposedly, scientific research was done, but this new color, guys, I prefer the ochre. You can point your fingers at me, but the ochre existed, so it was a color used by HMS Victory. The yellow also, I have my Revell painted in yellow, but if I had to choose between the ochre and this new, well, you have your answer here on this video. And to paint the stern of the ship, I first started to do a dry brush on the surface, enhancing all details, and then go over the enhanced surface. Because, in my opinion, if you do a dry brush first, all the indentations, all the details pop up, and then you have a better visual line guide on how to paint the details. Okay, so that's what I did, and then I went with the brush and hand painted everything. This was very fun to do. Okay, not tedious, very, very fun to do. I actually enjoyed doing this one, and I'm asking myself here if probably the Revell one, if it's not a miniaturized kit, a copy of the mold of this one, because they're very, very similar in the way that they build. But here, that's how I paint this stern. And now to paint all the spaces between. You know, when I did the dry brush, there are yellow ochre particles that grab into the wood texture, and that's not correct. So I diluted very well, kind of a wash, and painted the black underneath, in between, sorry, English, in between the details. And now we start on the cannons. 104 cannons, 32 pounders. Oh my god, a lot of cannons. Also priming and painting the interior, which I painted red and then had to change the color between. You have to know which period, historical period, you are building your Victory, your model. But that's a discussion for later, or in the comments below if you wish. And cannons, a lot of cannons. On this I have a small story. I found out online a company, family company, I think it's LLC Monkey. It's a fantastic company that does 1 to 100 scale printed details, cannons, lanterns, everything. And I bought a lot of material. They were very nice with me. They didn't even knew who I was. I'm not being arrogant. I'm sure that if they knew that this was a modeling channel, they probably would make things easier for me. I don't know if they would or not. They were very nice. Problem is, I paid for the material, they sent it. My custom services never notified me that they had it there, stopped, and they got it back again to the US, and I was only notified at the end of the last day, after the last day went through. And so I'm still, now I'm waiting for them to receive and to send them back, and probably I will have to pay again the shipping. But I want to test, I want to try also some resin details on this deck along with the Duffy set. I'm sure it will be amazing. Regarding these anchors, I know they're all black. This is one of those things that before you read the books, you assume. And thank God I did some research on this one. Even so, it was a good platform to practice grain wood texture, old wood texture. So this will be also addressed. All the anchors will be all matte black. And now we start working on the decks. I'm using a scale decks wood deck. It was sent by my good friend Fingers Almeida, which back then was my Patreon. It was my first Patreon. I'm still his friend today. We still do a lot of talk. And here, as you can see, thank you, Fingers Almeida. He sent me this. He bought it and he sent it to me. When the company contacted me if I wanted a deck, Ironically, I was already building it, and it was given by my friend Almeida. So thank you very much. This deck was my first one, veneer deck, and I applied it with some white PVA wood glue. What can I say? It's a very good kit. It's a very good, deck, and it turned out very well, to be very honest. But if you ask me, would you prefer using this one or the out-of-the-box texture one? Even if the out-of-the-box one could be out of scale and extremely a bit exaggerated on the texture, as it is exaggerated on the wood texture outside the hull also, that's debatable, but I agree. Well, I would prefer the out-of-the-box one. Even so, as you can see, very good stuff. Very good deck, fits perfectly. Use this bit also, okay? You will need it. If I may give you one advice, I'm no expert on this, you know me, but don't flood the down part underneath the deck with white glue. Just sparingly. Apply it, but sparingly. Don't flood it. The water on the glue, on the white glue, may wrinkle a bit, may warp a bit the deck, okay? Be careful. And now we started to paint HMS Victory's colors, deck, hull colors, and I used for this reference my HMS Victory Revel one, which I knew it was correct. Not in the color, as you know right now, but in the pattern and the lines and the height and everything. I used pictures of the real one, and I had this one in front of me just in case. All I can say, when you are doing this, when I'm doing this, the hours go by and you just cannot even count the hours. I lost all track of time. This was very relaxing to do. I enjoyed the process thoroughly. My paint, the paint that I made, the ochre, stayed a little bit with a little bit too much of thinner, so I had to compensate. But even so, it was a pleasure to paint this hull. A real pleasure. I enjoy the process thoroughly. And if I tell you that all this work so far, and this hull will have to be practically all redone, all repainted, because Daniel's Fisher Duffy set hasn't arrived yet. And I realized that I had to redo a lot of stuff, believe me. So all in due time, I'm having all this work and I didn't even knew what I had to redo again. A moment of relaxation, so cheers, guys. And this is the Daniel set, Duffy set, that you can find on the link below this text, this video. Amazing work. As I told you before, this is a labor of love. This is not a photo etch set. This was made after several visits to HMS Victory. Daniel Fisher has a passion for this beautiful ship and her history. And along all this time, he built this photo etch set, perfected it, and all I can tell you, in my opinion, this kit makes this model alongside on the top with the best wood ones. Okay, but for that I realized that I had to remove all this detail and use this on the deck and all on the hull. This is beyond, and this made me feel a bit hesitating. It still does. Look at this. The instructions are online. You have all the support. Everything made by Daniel Fisher hands. He is an amazing perfectionist modeler. This is beyond words, guys. You have to see it for yourself. I'm just trying to show you a little bit what it is. Resin crests, resin pieces are of a cast beyond perfection. They're very good. And so it's a great responsibility along with HMS Victory's story. Yes, life gets in the way also of this build. That's why I'm building this one for so many years now. But Daniel Fisher, remember, told me in one conversation that we had that one of his HMS Victory models took 4 years to build. So, well, I think I'm still inside that window. And let's try and improve this one a little bit. It almost makes you cry. Can you see why I told you I was going to show you everything? One step forward, two back, another one forward, another two back, 3 steps forward. But if at the end of this process I learn something and the model dignifies HMS Victory and you guys think, well, Alex at least did an honorable work, and if it looks good on my shelf, well, I think I will have a good run on this learning process, right? And here I'm reinforcing the interior walls. Why? Well, I saw in the books, a lot of people told me, because this model moves a lot of people, you know, and that's what also makes me respect it more. They told me that the Canon doors, the hull was very thick, so it would look better, and I researched it, and that's what I'm trying to do, guys. A very rudimentary work, but if you look in an angle and you see the walls of the hull, the wooden walls, like these ships were new, thick enough, well, it will be an add-on and good for me. Looks a little bit better, right? Also, ejector pin marks. This kit had a lot, and I noticed it only after painting. Way to go, Alex. And so I'm just working on an overall, because I'm going to destroy a lot of details, and I have to in order to make them better. Why not? And now that we built the gun ports door, admiral door, we're going to use side steps, right? So when I told you that the Duffy set brought a lot of resin detail, just look at this. But in order for me to put it, I have to remove the previous ones. And now what I'm doing is, after all this work and half of surface destroyed, I thought I look at what modelers say about maybe a little bit of exaggeration on the wood texture surface of this kit, and I wanted to say, despite the fact that I agree, I can live with that. Even so, I sanded the surface just a little bit, removed it just a little bit, not all, not completely smooth, but removed just a little bit of that extra wood texture, and that way when applying the paint will be smooth and the surface will appear just a little bit better, I hope. As you can see, Duffy set, and we are only talking about the resins, makes all the difference. Imagine all the rest. And now all the windows on the stern, beautiful stern of this ship. It fitted perfectly, and it makes all difference. If I liked it before with the plastic cast details, I like it even more now with a gracious thickness. It's gracious, it's beautiful, it fits, it gives it a scale, a proper scale appearance. It is beautiful. only the window frames added and the letters, and quite an upgrade already, right? And now the bow and the crest and the knight head. I like to use these Molotov acrylic paint markers. They are very good and helps with all the small details. But sometimes nothing can replace actually a good brush. But these markers are very good. And now we are painting the base of the ship where HMS Victory will stand on top. I tried to give it wood texture. Two attempts on this run. First of all, the first one too clear, and then with a big friend of mine, he got me a wood base, and so I thought that it should be darker in order to match the base. So when you see me paint with crystal clear red and orange, it's that second attempt. And now we are gluing both halves of the hull for the first time. Daunting. If I could use a little bit of epoxy glue, yes, I could. And here, allow me to bring attention to you. These beams are not a strong point or a weak point of the build of this kit, because both halves are glued, and both halves will have the tendency to go inward, one towards each other. And these beams are the ones who maintain distance, as you can see. But because of that, and they're very thin in the middle, they tend to bend. They cannot handle the strength of both hulls. As you can see, there's one. This one here is bent. There's a very simple solution, which is to glue the beam to the surface of the hull, as you can see, and you use epoxy or super glue, and that way when the deck goes on top of the beams, it stays firm, and at the same time it doesn't go down. See, it's a weak point, so we are trying to address that issue here. And the first lower deck is on. As you understand, this deck will be totally obscured, not visible. And even so, I painted it wood color. Go figure why. But yeah, it's done. So let's proceed. As you can see, at least the color is almost the same, so I'm happy with it. I just would like to say that it was very soothing, very relaxing to hand paint all these details. Time flies when you're doing this. And now let's build some cannons and detail those with Blade 5 of Daniel's Fischer Duffy set. This set enhances way further ahead the cannons with the gun lock, the royal emblem, which as you can see here is pretty damn small, and the carriage braces. It details this very, very, very well, and also quadruplicates the amount of work that you have to do on those. So 104 cannons, you make the math. And this is HMS Victory figurehead. This design comprises of two cupids supporting the royal coat of arms, which is surmounted with the royal crown. The motto bears the Latin inscription of the Order of the Garter, Honi soit qui mal y pense. Translated, this means shame to him who evil thinks. I wanted to take this opportunity again to thank all of you that subscribe this channel, and thank you for being with me in this journey. This channel completes in March 2023, 10 years, a decade. So thank you very much for being with me for all these years. A decade. And now, removing from Duffy's head the phrase of this coat of arms, Dieu est mon droit. And now this is a small adventure. We are going to Copper Hall with real copper tape the hull. This idea was researched. I saw a lot of experienced modelers doing it, and I thought, beautiful, beautiful. First the idea, second the technique, and I have to try this. It was an adventure. I had to order 3 times from different sites copper tape because they kept sending me 6 millimeters, and I specifically asked for 4 millimeters in the hull and 5 in the bow. Well, almost 4 or 5 months later, finally arrived, and I started copper hulling this. So please bear in mind that this is my first, okay? Probably you will see some mistake, I don't know. This was my first one, you be the judge of it. Any recommendation you have to do, please use the comments below, that's why they are there. I would like to know more about this, about some techniques that you use. I love to do this one. I hope you can understand now, guys, why don't I do more regular video builds of HMS Victory. First of all, the responsibility of the history that this model carries with it. It's just a model, but it's a representation of a very important ship. I don't want to disappoint no one. And second, because this is all new for me. Copper hulling, putting words on a coat of arms that are smaller than the pinhead, I don't know. My God, this is all new for me. So I hope you have that into consideration. I am sorry for the time that I took to build, to make a video of this. I am sorry to Daniel because he sent me this one and I don't feel obligated to. He said it himself, but you know, we also want to help. This Duffy set deserves to be promoted. Deserves, no doubt. But then life gets in the way, everything gets in the way, and I am terribly sorry for you guys. You guys have sent me thousands, hundreds, but I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of emails or personal messages asking how is HMS Victory going. So I hope you appreciate this video. Now, I don't know if this is nonsense or not. You know, the deck, the interior deck of quarters of Floor Nelson, they were black and white. I know they were hexagons, okay guys? But one afternoon I was looking at this and I thought, why not at least giving the impression to the guy who is looking inside the model when this is done, that at least it has, one of the decks has that chess pattern on the floor. Well, it's not hexagons, squares, it's hexagons, but even so. But then I realized that it wouldn't be seen, so, well, at least I got some experience out of this, right? And this is how the kit is right now. It is very fun to build this one. It's beautiful. And if you ask me, don't you are excited about building this one up to the end? Yes, I am. But I don't want to mess this one up. And this is a beautiful, beautiful ship. Plastic model, up there with competition with the ones, the detailed wood ones. So I want to go slow with this one. Okay guys, thank you for watching this one. It's a long video, but thank you. Keep modeling, guys. Keep modeling. Always, always with a smile.